What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll Live. We are back this week with a full group again. We're going to be talking for the new year. We're talking diets and nutrition since everybody's out here making their New Year's resolutions. And I feel like everybody's every year is to lose weight and to get in shape. So we're gonna go ahead and start with that too. We'll get into a few quick intros here. My name is Shawn. I am a C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident almost 18 years ago, coming up at the end of this month. So, Tom, kick it.
What's up, everybody? Tom Conaway, C5, C6 quad as well. I've been paralyzed for 24 years. I got my computer and mic set up different, so if you guys can't hear me or anything, just let us know in the chat. We try to get it all tweaked before the show, though. But yeah, let me toss it on over to our other host, Bobby.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. Glad to see you got the view going again that everyone likes with the lights in the back. But it does look like you're about to go professional gaming on us. So, Happy New Year, everyone. All of our people in the chat, welcome back. Glad to see you guys here. And Ben's already starting the money train. And Nicole, sorry to hear about your ankle. I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6, quadriplegic. And let's move it over to our guest and somebody that's inspiring me lately, Kyle. This is your first time, right, Kyle?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Uh, let's see here. I'm a C6/7 complete quadriplegic. My accident happened in June 2018, and so I'm just a little over 3.5 years. So I'm definitely the newbie to the group.
Well,
Yeah,
we really
Kyle's
appreciate you
on you.
being here, Kyle. Kyle is awesome. If you are following him on Instagram, go and check it out because he does a lot of really cool, inspirational stuff. Working out and taking this rehab stuff to another level. In the early stages of recovery. Kyle's a really, really awesome guy and an awesome example. Someone who, did a really, really incredible job doing his rehab the last couple of years. But last and certainly not least, our final guest, Lewis, who's been a recurring guest on the show and a very valued friend and member of the community. You might introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Luis. I'm an L3, L4, incomplete walker and roller. So I'm an SCI walker, and I also use a wheelchair for long distances. I was injured on an oil rig coming up on 41 years in February. So
Yeah.
February 10th, be
You
41
just have
years.
a couple years under your belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got a
just a
few
few.
here and there. Anyways, it's great to be back and see everybody. Glad to
Great
be
to
Yeah,
here.
have
thanks
you
for.
back.
Yeah, happy
Yeah,
New Year,
sorry,
everyone.
sorry about my crazy dog barking.
Oh, no
All
worries.
good, man. All
Dogs
good.
are always welcome.
Let me.
um, big shout
There we
out to
go.
Ben for the super chats. We really appreciate you always supporting the show, buddy. You are awesome, man. And yeah, let's dive into it. I'll just get it started. Um, does anybody here keep any specific diets to help maintain their regular lifestyle? And I'll put myself on the hot seat. I don't, um, not currently. I've tried some things in the past. I'd say like I don't really call it a diet. I guess it is kind of like a dietary lifestyle. And I like to call what I do like intermittent fasting. Like I just don't eat a lot. I kind of do like a little meal in the morning as my breakfast, like light granola, yogurt, granola bar, fiber one bar, or something. And then I'll just do like one bigger meal later in the day. Um, it helps. I don't know. It's what I need. I do struggle a little bit sometimes with low energy early in the day if I have a lot of high activity. I got to make sure I do feed myself in that event. But outside of that, I do try to get my food groups in, but I'm a potato lover. What can I say? That's usually my favorite veggie. I do probably not get as much greens or fruit. as I need, but I do work on it. Been working on it. Had a little fruit yogurt parfait this morning, so you know, I do get it in when I can. Um, let's toss on over to Shawn. Do you do anything, bud?
So for me personally, I don't do anything too specific. I don't have like a you know exact diet I stick to, but I do always try to eat pretty healthy. Like I try to minimize my fast food intake. Um, I don't do great on veggies and stuff as well, like you. But what I do to supplement that is so every day when I do my bowel care, before I do my bowel care, my like morning breakfast meal or whatever is just a smoothie. So I do like a frozen. I use frozen fruit, and then I use Green Machine, the naked juice. So I try to get some fruit and veggies in there. I put some like I actually put hemp seed in there because they're high in protein, and another good just a few other like random things like that. Um, but that's one of the ways I try to get I sneak some fruits and veggies in there. And I do some veggies during the day. Like I not that I don't do any, but like Tom, I eat a lot of potatoes. I am definitely a potato eating guy. So I don't know. I probably don't have the best diet, but what I do, I don't eat huge meals. I am like kind of a snacker. So like I'll eat like a lot of times I eat a snack between lunch and dinner, and then I'll eat another snack after dinner before I go to bed. But I'm never eating huge meals, so I'm never eating like a giant portion of anything at one time. I'm constantly eating smaller meals and trying to metabolize and run that off. So I guess that's my diet.
Our, our resident fitness instructor, Bobby. How about you?
Yeah, but
Well, I try to keep it, to a minimum of a lot of that crap food. So there is not really a diet I follow. I I'm like you, Sean. I uh, plant uh, based protein shake in the morning. I love a salad in the afternoon for lunch. Something a little bit on the lighter side definitely helps me with that lunch. I do often try to put in a protein, uh, chicken sausages or turkey sausages, and put that in, or a little bit of chicken, or maybe some raw tuna, whatever to help with that protein for the lunch. Try not to make it too big. Lots of greens and lots of vegetables, and then for dinner, I do have a diet of no bread. And because I'm not a potato, but I am a bread lover. I can eat bread, especially good bread, but I just don't. And we all know where that ends up, And whenever I have a bread at dinner, uh, I get a treat sometimes to buy that. I eat it first, and then I want more, and then I really rarely touch my dinner because I'm eating the bread more than the dinner, but I don't follow. I try to get a good supper in. I know Ben said in the chat he only eats one time a day for dinner. I don't know if I could do that. By the
I don't
time
think I
dinner
could
comes
do
around,
that.
I'm pretty worn out, or I'm dizzy. Uh, but I wish I had a bigger appetite. I'm never hungry though, and I don't know if anybody's like that in the chat or any of you guys. But I just don't get an appetite. I can uh, definitely blank it out. So, but I don't keep a specific diet. I mean, probably the last 2 months, figuring it's the holidays. I'm not gonna diet down for anything, meaning lighter and more of this or that because of high fitness. Right now, I just kind of took a break, and now that the new year has started, I'll get right back into it, doing a lot more fitness, a lot more outdoors. It's been cold around here, so haven't gotten outdoors, and then I can't wait for my hand cycle to come in. Kyle, like I got a grant for the Striker hand cycle, so I'll be
Sweet.
joining you guys on some of those hand cycle rides. So can't wait to get out of there.
That's awesome.
Kyle or Louise, do you guys keep a
Y-
diet of
Yeah,
any sort?
yeah,
Nice, let's hear
definitely.
it, Kyle.
This is such a big topic for me because I try to put myself on a reasonable diet so I could also cheat and have, pizza and ice cream occasionally, especially during the weekends. So what I kind of do is I eat 3 meals a day, and I only eat when I'm actually hungry. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't eat right away. I'll eat, maybe 10 or 12. And that's kind of like if I didn't eat since dinner the night before around 6, it's kind of like what Tom was talking about with the intermittent fasting. Um, so for me in the morning, I try and get my own food because I do live with my parents and they are amazing chefs. So I'll eat like an Uncrustable in the morning and like a V8, and then I'll wait, till around 1 or so, 12. I mean 1 or 2, and I'll have high veggie protein lunch. And then for dinners, same thing. I try and eat a lot of veggies, high protein. Um, and then so that's for what I eat for the during the day. But at nighttime, so I do a bowel program every other day, and so the days I do a bowel program, I don't eat sweets or anything that could kind of make that happen because I'm going a whole day without it. So I think that helps me with my diet and helps me keep a lot of pounds off because I don't eat I don't eat like crap every day. So uh, yeah, and then I also drink a lot of water. I don't drink any soda. I barely drink liquor or beer or wine. I'll have a couple here and there, but majority water.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the just to comment on some of that real quick before we toss it over to Luis. Water is huge. It's important to stay hydrated. I mean, it's probably like the number one thing for bladder health, but also it helps your body metabolize and just your bowel program like be effective. That's one of the things I always comment to people who are struggling with their bowel program is like, are you dehydrated? If you increase your water intake and for a couple of days and see if that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think.
Avoiding, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I was just gonna say I would totally pig out every single night if I feel like I had to do if I didn't have to do a bowel program uh,
Yeah.
every day. Since I have to do one every other, I feel like I cut down the sweet intake, and then the night before I do it, I could treat myself, and I feel like that really helps me out.
Oh yeah, dude. Same here. Like I swear, like that. Trying to have gain some control over my bowel program is like keeps me like on a more like strict diet than anything else because like it's just such an incentive to not have any issues or to like make sure I have a good program. It's to, like keep myself in check. But yeah, it's funny you bring that up. Luis, what do you do, my
Just being
man?
honest.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the all of the above. So it's I eat and consume all of the above. But
Okay.
the details of my diet is it's all wrapped up around controlling my bowel, my bladder, and UTIs, muscle cramps. I don't get spasms. I'm too low in injury for that, but I do get a lot of cramps. And my diet is geared to controlling all of that. So I eat pretty much a very balanced diet, proteins, greens, lots of fruits and vegetables, but I'm also into supplements and vitamins. And with those supplements and vitamins combined with diet and something else, this is a key phrase: food interactions. So when you eat one type of food with another type of food, it creates an interaction, and that can help you control some of the problems that we have as spinal cord injuries. And it's a big help. Also, I'm very conscious of when I do my bowel and bladder program, what's in the bowl. So I always know let's call it the status of what my bowel and bladder is doing every time I have to use the facilities, so that I know later in the day I might need to eat something that will help me loosen my constipated stool or firm my stool when it's not firm enough. And I adjust on the fly every single day to help control that.
Well, nice.
Yeah, that's kind of like, really when I do get to dinner, um, and I don't have bread, I am looking at that healthy, the pyramid scheme that we were all taught when we were a little kid, having the fruits, a vegetable, and then I might have definitely a protein. And I'm really about a protein based sort.
Yes.
And, some days I get to eat the steak, but many times I know that is fattening, so I do try to stick to the whiter meats and chicken thighs, and maybe
Mhm.
some. If I am going to have pork, a pork tenderloin, something a little more lean and healthy. But I have to get in my greens and my vegetables, no matter what throughout the day. It definitely makes things a lot easier to flow, and help with our balanced diet and program that we think, because that's one of the things that we're always working around is our bowel program. And you said it, Tom, key water is key, and
Mhm.
keeping us hydrated, and for our not only our bladder, but really putting the water in the bowels really helps out a lot, and not straining on the bowels. So uh, that's definitely going to help. And that's what we all strive for, keeping that balance. Now, something I know that you brought up, Luis, and I don't know the rest of you guys or anyone in the chat, but talking about supplements. Um, I've gone through my periods of going high on supplements to just keeping it down to a one a day vitamin C, and
Mhm.
that's about it. Maybe a B here and there, and kind of keeping it to that simple. I don't know if you want to expand, Louise, on what supplements you take and for what reasons, or what do you find works and
Mhm.
doesn't work?
Um, for myself, and I think it would work for a lot of people. But the key with using supplements is to add the things that you're missing in your diet. So if you're excluding something from your diet because it's causing you a bowel or bladder issue, find a supplement that will help replace that. So myself, I don't take any pain medications. Yeah, I don't take gabapentin. I don't take baclofen, uh, Flexeril, anything, nothing, except on those days when I have a flare up. Um, so how I control pain and cramps is through potassium, magnesium, and I eat a diet like you guys were all talking about potatoes. Potatoes have a lot of magnesium and potassium in them. Same with bananas. Um, Other foods, you can just type it into Google and find a list of
Pistachios.
foods that support what you're missing. So figure out what you're missing and add that in. Um, you can also take and adjust those foods accordingly, so that if you say you're having a particularly rough day, you're having a cramp or a spasm or something that's almost incontrollable, you could take a lot of bananas. Instead of buying a bunch of bananas and having a banana, eat 5 of them, and that will make a difference. You know, if you're having a problem sleeping because you're having cramps and spasms, this is called a food interaction. You have half an apple with a slice of cheese and half a glass of warm milk. And the chemical reaction between those three things will help your body relax enough to sleep without having to take a medication. So
I
go right
I want
ahead.
to Well, just comment on what you were saying. Similarly, inflammation is probably like my biggest pain causer. Inflammation in like my wrists and my shoulders and my neck. Um, and a lot of people don't realize like how much inflammation we have like throughout our body. There are certain foods that like red meat specifically, like any just high fatty foods, like lots of sugars and stuff can help promote inflammation throughout your body, and if not be the direct source of pain, amplify pain that could be lessened through some dietary choices, which I think is like an important thing to mention. I don't do any baclofen or gabapentin or any kind of pain management outside of
Mm-hmm.
cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
But and I do definitely attribute that to like my nutrition, my activity, and like my body health. Um, but I that can I think definitely lend to pain management a lot, which I I don't know if a lot of people take into consideration. Um, and yeah, the food interaction you gotta. I mean, it's we think about like the biggest, most common food interaction is like if we eat spicy food, right? It's gonna like cause us
Mm-hmm.
to like have an issue, or like do other things in our tummy. Um, Always be conscious of what you eat. Something we've talked about before on previous episodes, like diet and nutrition, is keep a food diary. We all have
Yes.
our smartphones with us nowadays. It's pretty easy to just abbreviate real quick, 2 seconds, text yourself, whatever it is, to help you track, because sometimes you don't realize, you can't think back, you maybe miss something that you eat when you're having regular issues and stuff. You can use the food diary to help track down some of that stuff a lot
That's a
easier.
great example of how to track stuff is using a diary or a journal, not only for what works for you, but what doesn't work for you.
Yeah,
And that way you can
Yeah.
look back on that day and you go, wow, that day I was really out of it. What did I eat the day before? And you think,
Right.
well, that must have been it. You can
yeah.
track and experiment with the different products that you have. Somebody here, in the chat here, Renee mentioned ginger shots and turmeric. I take a supplement that has glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and turmeric all combined in a single pill. And with that, it helps me with my joints, because I'm 41 years post. Um, there's a lot of things that go along with our condition, such as arthritis. Most of us have some form of arthritis and don't know it because we have broken bones. And those things help with that. It also helps with the inflammation in the rest of the body. And so I'm glad Renee brought that up. That's another good one, is things that have some turmeric in it.
Yeah. So I wanted to comment on the supplements too. Shout out Mama Conaway for always keeping me my vitamin stock up and ready to go. But I do take vitamins too, and it's just like a multivitamin pack. It's got two multivitamins, B12, an iron, and then a probiotic. I might be missing something, but I think I got it all. Um, and the probiotic is another really
Yeah.
important one to keep your body's metabolic health balanced. This is like important for your digestion, your gut health. There's like good bacteria in your gut that helps you like break down and digest your food, and it can be super super important. Now, if you have any level of spinal cord injury, odds are you've had to deal with UTIs, some kind of infection, and having to take antibiotics now, or have to do it regularly, once a year, every couple of years. Now, when that happens, those antibiotics take care of all the bacteria in your body, even the good ones, and
Yes.
maintaining proper gut health is essential for keeping like a regular bowel program. Now you can do that with like a healthy diet, eat lots of like living cultures like yogurt, things like that.
Hmm.
Yogurt is like the way to do it. There's yogurts with lots and lots of probiotics in it. They make it, that way, or you can take pills to supplement your probiotics as well. Um, I do yogurt, but I do the pills to help balance it further. And yeah, it's just another big important point I wanted to bring up.
Just to add on what you're saying about probiotics, I'm a little older school. I took nutrition in college 41 years, 42 years ago. Um, we used to call it acidophilus. And and prebiotics are what they use now as a commercial name because nobody knew how to spell acidophilus. So they came up with an easier name to market the thing. But probiotics, you're coming down to basically two different types. You have plant based, which is usually fruit, and then you have a dairy based probiotics or acidophilus. And depending on your needs, and some of us are lactose intolerant. I'm not, but there are people that are. Use a plant based acidophilus. When you take a lot of antibiotics like we do for our different infections and needs, and we got a sore that we're trying to heal, and we're taking antibiotics and a UTI and all this other stuff, just like Tom said, you're killing all the good stuff in your stomach along with the bad stuff. And these probiotics and acidophilus will rebuild that intestinal flora that helps you digest everything that you put into your body.
Yeah.
And when you digest properly, your body's working better.
Yeah. And finding this balance in, like, your metabolic process, which is, the process of eating, digesting, and then energy being distributed to your body is complex. There's just lots of levels to it. And, a lot of times we only consider like what we put in our mouth, and, it doesn't really stop there. So, I really appreciate you bringing up some of these, finer points and understanding some of this stuff. Now, I do want to talk to our other guest, Kyle, about diet when it comes to exercising at such a high level. Now, you were probably like one of the most swole quads I know, always hitting the gym. Of you got some crazy upper body muscles going on. Now, when you're putting and working on those gains, are you increasing what you're eating? Are you just changing the types of foods so you're making sure you're eating more proteins and stuff to help promote that like muscle growth? Do you change anything at all?
Yeah, that's a good point. So after I work out, if I'm working out with weights, or actually pretty much even a high cardio workout, I'll have some type of protein shake. So that's pretty much it for my supplement. I pretty much just eat how hungry I am. Um, I try not to splurge too much. Um, but yeah, I just stick with the 3 meals a day, and after I work out, I'm not trying to go to the cupboard and and eat something that's not healthy. I want to put something in my body that's healthy, so I can benefit from that. So I think that might help me out a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've noticed, it's like, I mean, this is probably advice for everyone. You gotta fuel your body, right? Whenever I work out or exercise for any significant amount of time, like the first thing I got to do, I feel like is, ravenous after, like, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat a sandwich, I need to eat something to, replace what I just expended. So making sure that you're putting proteins and good things and stuff that helps your muscle fiber heal faster um, is obviously what you're going to want to do. So if you're doing any kind of regular physical activity, definitely be super mindful of what you're using to refuel your body afterward.
Yeah, because you want to have that energy. If
Exactly.
you're eating a bunch of garbage or crap, you're not going to be into going and pushing a couple miles or hitting the gym. Um,
Yeah.
but another
So,
Yeah.
thing, to go
Coach
back
Bobby,
to building the muscle is, um, I just since the beginning of my injury, I just figured whatever I can move and whatever I can feel on like the outside of my arm, I can build that. And so I just try and focus on little workouts and focus on those areas that I can feel. And then early in the week, I'll do high reps, lightweight, and then the next part of the week, I'll do heavier weight. Just trying to always muscle confusion, and so my arms are what's going on, and they're rebuilding. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. We had in the chat, we had Angry Quad. Shawn, he's another YouTuber. Asked if you have a YouTube, Kyle. I don't think he does, but he posts all his workouts on Instagram. And you can follow his Instagram. It's the Kai McLovin right there. And it's in the description as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I started a YouTube about a year ago. Then I just kind of got stuck with Instagram and Facebook. But eventually I could start posting more stuff. You know, the thing with trying to get videos while you're working out is that's real time consuming. You know, I'm trying to go there in the gym for an hour, and with my quad fingers, I'm trying to get a camera set up. So I just have to get better material.
Yeah, no, I feel you, dude. It's hard when you're trying to record your own stuff too, unless you have somebody there to just like, hey, shoot me while I'm doing this for a while. But I was gonna ask Bobby, since you're training, you've been going pretty hard lately. Are you doing any extra supplements? Do you do anything after your workouts, like protein shakes or anything like that, to add?
Well, Kyle said it, absolutely. The best source for our muscle is eating after and getting some protein. That is definitely going to help with, especially if you're working out a lot, it's going to help with your recovery. And it's also going to help with the muscle growth and keeping those muscles going. Yeah, and something, I forget who said it, maybe it was Kyle, but, think of your body like a gas tank. Obviously, if we don't eat enough and we're low on gas, we're nervous in our car. And to get to that gas station, especially for us, not every gas station, there's somebody out there to pump. So then you get even extra nervous. And our body's acting that same way. Our body's getting nervous about what we're putting in. And you have to think about your day, and if you're on the go, and then I'm sure some of you are, and like some of us, we're on the go. And if you're not going to fill that tank up right, it's not gonna run right. So, think about what you put in your tank, and especially when we go and we spend that extra 20 cents, which I'm not doing it anymore. Maybe when I was younger and had a nicer car, but we think about higher octane, and eating the food and what we put in that gas tank is definitely key, and definitely key to start, something small in the morning. I have to do the protein shake, the plant-based protein shake in the morning, even though it kills me. And if I don't do it, I'll do maybe a little bit of eggs, that yogurt with some granola in it. I got to have something, a protein bar. And it pains me to eat it because I am just not hungry. But if I don't do it, I don't run right. I'm sluggish. And then by the time lunch comes and I eat lunch, I don't know if anybody gets like this, but I get a blood pressure drop like there's no tomorrow on my first meal. And that's why it's even hard to eat the first meal of the day, because of that blood pressure drop. I just crash, and the longer I hold out, the more I crash. And it's just something that some of us go through. So definitely trying to eat smaller amounts of meal throughout the day. That's also going to help. And looking at your source of food and energy is always going to help. So somebody just asked, and I was gonna ask you, Kyle. You kind of moved away a little bit, but you have to show us your quad tools back there, and not to deviate from this. But so
I got a little bit of everything.
That's a heck of a freaking collection right there, man.
Go.
Yeah, so I've got the one that I use the most is going to be the long reacher. It's called the Clipper. But then I got a fruit picker. It's originally a pooper scooper, but I didn't want to get it all dirty, so I just use it to pick fruit.
Nice.
And then there's barbecue tongs and gardening tools. It's all cool.
Where'd you
They
get all
really
this
help.
from?
Do you have the knife there too? The big old
I
knife?
do. I've got a kitchen knife, and I've also got like a hunting knife.
That's
Where are all
awesome,
those
man.
strawberries
I'll
from,
go.
Kyle?
So
Yeah,
that
that's
is a
a
sweet
Bobby,
collection. That's some money right there on that wall.
yeah,
yeah, it
Yeah.
yeah,
is.
it's a few ducats, that's for sure.
Grants, baby, grants.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. And we've had a show on that, and definitely, if you can get grants for anything, get help for stuff, do it. Apply. There's money out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And you know, Kyle kind of inspired me. You know, when I saw on his Instagram once that, you know, he got something through Kelly Brush, and you know, I've never done a grant, and then I just said, you know what, if I want this bad enough, I got to go somewhere. Funds don't
Yeah,
come
you
in
know,
like
it's a
they
little
used to for me.
annoying filling out the paperwork, and sometimes you get denied. But then, I mean, it's free money, and they're going to help you out. Apply for it. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
generally once you do one or two, like a lot of the
Oh, that thing
information
is
is
badass. Hold on,
retrievable
I gotta
or
get back to
modifiable. Oh man, look at that, dude. We got a quad with like the
that.
Kyle Scissorhands.
God,
Kyle Scissorhands, dude.
that's pretty
We're like
badass,
Mad
dude.
Max Kyle over here. Holy
Don't
Oh,
guacamole.
don't start
what's
with me, Kyle.
Luis got over here?
What's that?
Looks like a hot glue gun.
Well, yeah, he's got a glue gun.
Yeah.
Hot glue gun? That's a phaser, my friend.
It's a
Oh,
phaser.
Star Trek, come on.
Oh shit.
Don't start with me.
Oh, he's about to stun
That's
us.
awesome.
That's
I want
funny.
to say one more thing back to the working out, and I feel like that's also for me part of the diet, because I don't feel like, and I'm not perfect with this at all. You know, I want to eat as good as I can. So, like earlier, I was saying I like to cheat with the food. You know, I love all different types of food, and I still want to eat it. But the only way I can do that is if I'm better to myself earlier in the week. And with the amount of days that I work out, I feel just help out my diet because I'm not craving crap food, only craving healthy food, and I'm doing high cardio, so I'm always getting my heart rate up, and it's also great for mental health. You know, I'm talking all kinds of shit in my head, and this just helps me get it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No,
Kyle.
and you did hit on that perfect sense of eating great for the week, and then, you know, letting yourself have that treat. It's our bodies were meant for treats, and we love to be treated and treat ourselves. But you have to be disciplined for a certain amount of time, because reward is very nice, and rewarding yourself maybe with a greasy hamburger and that, you know, fries with some salt on it because you worked so well during the week, and
And
you
a nice
should have
cold
those.
IPA.
There you go, and a nice IPA for sure. I
Yeah,
cut you
that's
off,
what
Louise. What were you going to say?
I was going to add on to what Kyle was talking about while he's exercising and trying to get some footage of him exercising. I have a device here that works pretty well. This is a camera stick. I'm sure Shawn will be familiar with this. You put a GoPro, tripod, whatever you need on this thing. It's a carbon fiber stick. The beauty of this thing is the bottom. This is what's called an octopod. And so with this pod, I can literally put this down on the ground and it stays there. As soon as I'm done with the shot, I grab it and go. Grab and go, grab and go. And it just sits there. This is so much faster when you're trying to grab some footage, when you're working out or doing something else or any activity. So it's Octopod. Take a look
it
at
takes
it.
they
Very
take a lot
cool.
less space than a tripod too, like floor space, and trying to set up and just drop it on the floor.
Exactly.
Now,
Well, I'll
Nice.
Bobby,
definitely look into that.
Hey,
I
real
wanted
quick
to.
before we get too far to the show, because I know
Oh yeah,
Bobby's gonna
let's
have
do
to
our
take off
ads.
right at 4:30 and stuff. I actually forgot to. Well, we had him up in the beginning, but I do want to shout out our sponsors real quick. Mobility Professionals is our main sponsor here, and they are a mobility company servicing the Southern California area. So if you need any wheelchair, commode chairs, anything like that, they are a supplier for those. And then we also have their sub company, which is Urology Professionals, and they are a catheter supply company, and they are national. So anywhere in the U.S., you can contact them and get your catheter supplies through insurance and stuff. So contact them. Their information is down in the chat or the description below, and check them out. They are our sponsors for the Live to
And
Roll channel.
it's
And they are
great to
really cool,
see.
great companies.
Yeah, and it's great to see some of you in the chat, like Mason Up, using Urology Professionals. Great to hear. So
Yeah,
loving that
they
you guys are
have
supporting our sponsors.
5-star customer service. They not only employ a lot of individuals with disabilities,
Yes.
like they um, it's very personable care and attention when it comes to this kind of supplies. It's individuals that often use the stuff themselves, or at least very, very familiar with it, or know other individuals who use it on the daily basis. Getting different level and kind of customer service you probably won't find in other places, and helping navigate this crazy, wild insurance system is always a crazy thing. But we know a lot of individuals there. Shout out Dean and a few other people, but yeah, awesome, incredible company. Does a lot for the community as well. So big shout
Yeah.
out. Appreciate them
Yeah, they're
supporting
not just a
Live to Roll.
sponsor, they're a friend of the community. They're at a lot of
Yes.
our Triumph events and stuff. So, yeah, they're just good people.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and then,
if you guys decide to use them, tell them we sent you.
Yeah,
yeah,
give a shout out to
definitely.
Live to Roll. What were you gonna
And
say,
I just
Shawn?
want to say, Mason made a comment earlier about after workout getting a good Five Guys burger, which is, I think, a little joke at me and Tom's last vlog. We just did because we got Five Guys burgers in the little vlog. If you guys haven't checked it out, and we're talking about, I think I cut some of it out, but we talked about it not being the greatest healthy snack. But hey, it is that's a cheat day and it's good. It was delicious. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, here's the thing. Um, we live in a beautiful time in the world where we have some pretty awesome culinary creations that we can enjoy. It's okay to enjoy a burger from time to time, but if you're eating burger and then a steak and then a burger the next day and some bacon on top of that, and that cannot be good. If you do that 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, um, finding a healthy balance. If you have one burger a week, you're doing okay. There's lots of ways to enjoy a burger too. Like turkey burgers and impossible burgers and other crazy things that they're coming up with these days. But I am an avid potato lover. Anybody that knows me, can tell you that. And but it's something. So like I'll definitely eat potatoes more than once a week. But I will be conscious of how much I'm eating in terms of like carbs and you know dietary interactions with other foods that I'm eating and
Yes.
stuff. So self-awareness, mindfulness when it comes to how much you're eating and the frequency at what you're eating is kind of like the important takeaway from it. It's totally okay to do ice cream, do sweets, and, do things that like make you feel good in other ways, maybe not health wise, but moderation, when it comes to that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's same with everything in life. You can't have too much of a good thing, especially if it starts to make you unhealthy. That's when you have to pull back and,
There,
consider, okay, maybe I'm having too much of that.
there's also things that'll plug us up. There are also things that can loosen us up. So too
Yeah.
Yeah.
much of any one thing, you got to be careful with it.
Well, that's what I found too. Like one thing that I will do regularly is like meal prep. And like we do talk about diet and nutrition, but how the heck are we making all this food? How the heck are we preparing all this stuff? It could be
Yeah.
a real struggle, especially if you don't have people always around to help you out. Um, I do have limited caregivers here. The caregivers I have usually don't do a lot of meal prep. My evening caregiver does help me with meal prep sometimes, but the main person that helps me out with my meal prep, shout out my sister, Em, who usually come over like one day a week, and it'll be like the day we'll hang out, just like spend some time with each other and watch some movies and kick it. But usually she'll help me meal prep for the week, and like we'll spend a couple hours cooking up some like veggie fajitas, make up some burritos with some beans and some rice and some veggies and stuff. Quick things that I can, heat up, pop in the microwave. Quick little dinners I can prepare, easily, and also give me all that grains and the veggies and the stuff that I need to feed my body right as well. Whether it's like little Tupperwares of like some fish and some rice and some veggies or whatever it may be. Um, Meal prepping can be a great way if you do have limited time with a caregiver. If you have them one day a week, twice, 2 days a week, you could, chalk out 4 or 5 hours and, plan like 2 or 3 meals that you could pop in the microwave or access easy. And there's lots and lots of online guides on ideas for awesome meals that are nutritional, nutritionally beneficial for you and easy to prep and access throughout the week. I always try to promote that to my quad people out there because it can be a struggle. And, some people do find themselves doing fast food, eating out, or just, heating up garbage because that's more convenient and it's kind of what is accessible. Now, that can be a detriment, if it's the wrong kind of thing over a long period of time. So, setting yourself up for success and doing some of the meal prep can, I think, really be helpful when it comes to like diet and stuff. And it's like just planning out your meals and planning your diet a few days ahead.
Possible content for a future show.
Yeah,
Quads can cook.
Yeah, no, we're working on
absolutely.
some cooking stuff actually.
We got some
And then
cook stuff in the
I
works.
just got an air fryer, and I'll put it to
Awesome.
work, and then I'll comment on that.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, dude,
It,
that's cool. Air
you
fryers.
know,
Go
it,
ahead.
I was just going to say cooking, not only, I mean, I think, and again, like activities of daily living. Taking in charge some of your care can be really great to help balance your physical activity. Especially if you're not able to hit the gym super regularly. I'll tell you what, if you take away your caregivers for a couple of days and do all your stuff, you'll be feeling it in your arms and your shoulders and your back. And that can be good. That can be beneficial. It can be helpful to push yourself and stuff. Cooking is another really great activity. Spending a few hours chopping some stuff. Not only does it work a lot of
Mhm.
your fine motors, but also like getting on like the skillet and like cooking things. Bobby, I know you do the grill. Like Kyle, you guys do the grill and stuff. Not something I've done so much in the past, but it can be really, really awesome physical activity. And then you have the reward and the benefit of like enjoying an awesome ass meal that you cooked on your own afterwards, which can be like really, really cool. But I think it like does help bring a certain balance to it too. Because I do, and we all find ourselves getting sedimentary sometimes, sitting around. I mean, maybe not quite. Kyle, who's hitting the gym all the time, and Bobby, who's fitness instructor extraordinaire over here. But um, pushing yourself to meal prep on your own, can not only be great to, help provide some physical activity if you're just kind of hanging at home all day and not doing much. Um, but it feels good. It feels good to feed yourself. It feels good to do some of that meal prep on your own as well. It can be like a
And
very like mentally rewarding thing on top of
Absolutely.
but it
just like
also,
physically satisfying
not
meal.
only that, for those who are on diet, meal prepping is actually can be really key in the sense that, my wife and I are, big on that meal prepping. And what we do is like, there's some things I, and the grill was, a, a great way for me to figure out. I cook everything on our grill and my smoker, and it's like my oven and my stove at the same time. And the thing is, not, I got the luxury of going out there and building my own barbecue island. It's at my height and it has a lot of room. And I even put the barbecue lower so I can see everything down in and lift the lid and close the lid and feel a lot safer than if I was at my stove. And we meal prep with marinating some meat. So I do it on Sunday nights. We get everything going, chop up all our veggies, our fruits, and throughout the week, it just really helps with eating that balanced diet
Yeah.
that you need.
I
And,
have one important question. When are we
go
eating at Bobby's?
ahead. Come on
We've
over.
been
Yeah.
having a conversation about
He
that.
said
Uh,
smoker. I'm in. I'm full on in.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah, I got
point,
to
we're
see
gonna do
Bobby's
the
little his setup
5.2.
he's building. It's pretty cool.
So, I
Um,
want to go back in the chat real quick, and I think it was Renee that asked about
The
positioning, and maybe
Yeah, I
Kyle.
was
I know
gonna
you're hitting
get
the
to that.
weights.
Yeah.
You're hitting the weights a lot more than I like to. Um, as the older I got, I found that
Oh,
weights
we
were,
lost Kyle.
oh, we lost them. Shoot. But I found that weights for me was needing to get lighter. And Kyle said it. He does, lots of reps, lighter weights, and then maybe a week heavier weights with smaller reps. I've just now gotten into all lightweight, more reps. It just works out for me. And yeah, seating is key, not only in the sense that our body position, our skin, and also our technique. If you're not sitting in the right position and you're working out, you could be leaning over to one side, and that might, cause shoulder injury or injury in your hip or something like that. So definitely want to think about that sitting and positioning. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Kyle, if you heard all of it, but
Yeah, so I just my screen had kicked me off for a second. I just got back in. Will you just repeat what you said in the beginning? I'm sorry, Bobby.
yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. Positioning's great, especially when we are hitting the gym. I'm not doing the weights like you are. I might do weights now with, just common exercises for cardio, and it's lightweight, lots of reps. But especially the heavier we're getting into, we got to think about it with our skin issues, and then positioning to prevent injuries.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I'm actually, how my workouts go each week is I do 2 days in the gym, 2 days on my hand cycle, and 1 day or 2 days in my rugby chair. And so when I work out at a gym, I just go in my regular everyday manual chair, and I just make sure, every 20 minutes I'm always moving. I move around a lot. Like, as you can see, I go forward a lot, and because I've had issues of pressure sores in the past, and I'm just don't want to be bedridden again for 3 months like I was. So um, yeah,
and you
so
notice me and Shawn and Bobby all doing the same thing, where we kind of like are leaning throughout the show. It's for a few things. One, it's for circulation, which can be a little bit low for us, like high level quads. Just the leaning can just like help the blood flow like move throughout our body, maintain our blood pressure, but also to consistently shift our weight. And now it might seem like a lot, but all it takes for pressure sort of form is 20 minutes in the wrong position. And I mean, that's why we're moving so frequently, is because, and it's almost like not conscious to me now. I mean, I do a lot of it just like kind of unconsciously until someone points it out to me, you know?
right. Yeah, absolutely. Also, another thing that I feel like helps me out when I'm so when I'm doing actual weights, and I've got a great luxury and a great friend that helps me with my active hands, because I don't go to a gym that's fully set up for a wheelchair user. I go to a gym that's for just an everyday gym, and so we go in there, and she'll help me grab the bar and then hook up to things. And when I'm in the gym, I do majority pull back exercises or pull downs, because in my manual chair, I'm always pushing forward. So I'm always working on my shoulders and my chest, or whatever I have on my chest. And so this way, when I'm pulling back, I'm able to build whatever I can build in the back up here. I can feel some stuff up here, so I know I can build it. And then it's
Yeah.
also been helping out with my biceps. And yeah, I mean, and then when I'm at my house and I push in my rugby chair. I'll usually strap up to some dumbbells and I'll do some shoulder exercises in my rugby chair and then go push.
Yeah. Damn, man,
That's
that's one
awesome,
hell of a
man.
routine. Let me tell you. Inspiring me over
Yeah.
here.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Gotta
also,
push myself to be
I'm
like
not,
Mr. McLovin.
well, and another thing that I want to add is don't ever compare yourself to somebody else, even if they're in the same, even if they have the same level as you. Compete with yourself. I talk
Yeah.
shit to myself all the time. Like, oh, today you did this amount of miles. Well, tomorrow you're going to do that. Or if
Yeah,
I've been pushing and I haven't completed it yet, I'm like, just come on, get this going. Let's go. And
yeah.
people probably think I'm crazy, but I am. So it's all right.
Nice,
I love
dude.
that, man. That's
That,
great.
yeah, and
Uh,
that's key too, Kyle. Compete with yourself and nobody else in the sense you know what your limitations are. You know what always having a goal, and this should be with exercise and your diet or exercise and your eating. Have a goal for yourself. Look at it. Be true to yourself because only you're lying to yourself if you're not completing that. I love, and one of the things for my goals that I love to do, and I did this all year before I did my half marathon, is I did something they're called Conquered Challenges. And you can get online and join something where it keeps track of your miles that you're doing, and you can pick some of these courses that have a virtual map, like climbing Mount Fuji or going, or the Grand Canyon, and you kind of keep track. And I sign up for these, and I pay the $25, and I'm not actually going to the Grand Canyon, but I know that I'm picking a goal for myself, and having a goal definitely helps out, even if it's weight loss, but doing something that's reasonable, not something that's unreasonable. But am I going to get 30 miles of pushing my own wheelchair in 30 days? It probably easy. Some days I can't get out there, so then that means I gotta figure out. Oh, I'll do 3 miles every other day. That should hit my goal. Or if it's going
yeah,
to be 60 miles in 30 days, that means I got to get out there more. And I make a goal, and then I keep track of it through it. And you know what? I love that participation medal at the end. I'm all for that. You guys see it in the background. I love a good medal because I know there's only one person and there's only one reason why I got that. Me, my hard work and my dedication. And that keeps me on track and going. And so
yeah,
definitely picking a goal for myself is eating right because then I know when I get up in the morning, I feel better. And I know that these last month and a half, I didn't, it was the holidays and I feel like crap on January 2nd because I was having fun like everyone else wanted to. And now I know it's day one to get back into it, eat right, get some exercise in a little bit more, and then continue to let it grow. I'm not going to change it overnight. Body can't just do that. So I'm going to get into it nice and easy and ease into it and let my body get used to it. And then once I can feel I can turn it into fourth gear or fifth gear. That's what you should be doing. You can't just stop everything right now and eat right. Your body's going to go dysfunctional on you. So if you go
Yeah.
yeah,
from first gear to fourth gear, you know what that car does. Doesn't do
yeah.
a nice little. It almost pretty much craps out right away. Do you have something
Nope.
to say, Lewis?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, based on what you were saying, Bobby, and what Celtic Bear in the chat said, is there anybody here using a fitness tracker, a
Yeah,
Fitbit or a smartwatch?
yeah.
So you've
That's
got
kind
I
one,
of
wear.
smart
Kyle.
as well.
Yeah, I got mine on. I use my Apple
I
Watch. I
don't.
love my rings.
Yeah, I call mine my life alert.
Yeah.
Those Apple Watches are
Yeah.
though. That's what's cool about those things. They actually.
Well, also what Apple did is they did a unique thing where they did a study with paraplegics and quadriplegics to get
Yeah.
the accelerometer to properly track like pushing and exercise from a wheelchair. And then they released all the data like that they data mined, and the whole study to Fitbit and to Nike and to other fitness trackers so that they could, use the same accessibility software in their technology as well. So I always like to shout that out because that's super, super cool that
Yeah,
that
that's
technology exists. And it was actually like designed and studied for individuals in chairs. So if you do get specifically an Apple Watch, but it is available for Fitbit and I believe the Samsung smartwatch as well. Um, to have like the fitness tracking from your chair to track pushing and stuff. Go ahead, Kyle.
the Fitbits will track kind of because that's what I had a Fitbit.
Yeah.
It works okay, but it's not specifically designed for a wheelchair user like the
Okay.
Apple. They didn't
Okay.
do
Yeah.
the whole program. But it like reads your movement pretty well and goes.
That
Yeah.
Kyle,
study
what?
that Tom is
What were you gonna
talking
say?
about was done through CAF, the Challenge
Okay.
Athletes Foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
part of that study.
Okay. Very awesome. What were you gonna say, Kyle?
I was just gonna say I don't know about all of you guys, but I know that Bobby and I both use Strava. It's an app that
Mhm.
my iPhone has, and I love that, and it lets me know like if Bobby goes on a push, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna go get mine on right now,
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I like that, and
And
we can all add each other as friends, and it's a good time.
Kyle,
Um,
I got to hit you up because we got to become Apple Watch friends so we can keep track of our. I have it with about 5 or 6 of my friends, and we watch the rings go around, and you're like, oh man, I gotta get my rings in, and get it on. So it definitely keeps you motivated. I don't. If he outdoes me for the day, I'm not like all bummed out. I just know tomorrow, hey,
Yeah,
maybe tomorrow that's my more of a workout day, so I'll get them there. But you can also challenge your friends with your Apple Watch for your workouts.
Yeah, that's
right.
pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
always just don't compare yourself with somebody else. Just always compete with yourself. Do
yeah.
what you can do. It's not a comparison. It's more of like, oh, Bobby, or one of you guys just motivated me. And now I'm gonna go kick my ass out there.
Huh.
Yeah,
And the
definitely
same
use
thing
that
goes
challenge.
for diet and nutrition as well. Set realistic goals for yourself. What I think it was like a podcast with a nutritionist I was listening to. I wish I could name who they were, but I remember what they said is like most people fail on their diets is because they set unrealistic goals for themselves. If you just stop doing all the things that you enjoy or that like give you, like small pleasures in your day-to-day life, you're going to fail a lot faster than if you just like limit them or maybe cut back, some of the, most significantly like bad things for yourself, and then, make some other positive changes and, like positive proactive changes that are reasonable and realistic. We all have everyday life to deal with, stressors that, make us want to go eat comforting foods. Not all of us even necessarily have, the access to the affordability of what it takes to, eat nutritionally.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it can be expensive. It can be really hard. Now, shout out Sprouts and some other institutions that do make it a little bit like more reasonable and affordable. At least that's where I go to for my stuff. I just read in the chat earlier, like Celtic Bear said, avoid like TV dinners and microwavable, preserved stuff like that. Absolutely, I'm 100% with you. Now, if you do, but that can offer like a level of convenience and independence that we can't usually find if we got to like do a whole meal prep for ourselves, especially from the chair. If you go to a place like Sprouts, if you can afford it from like Whole Foods and other stuff, there are nutritional like Amy's like microwavable burritos and stuff. Yeah, they're awesome. They taste good. They're not bad for you. Maybe not like eat them all the time exclusively, but there are some, you know, like prep, like easy prep things out there like that you can access at good establishments that promote like whole foods and like nutritionally beneficial eating. But you just have to pay attention and become familiar with stuff like that. Um, and yeah, I forgot the little tangent that I was going on. But my last little note before, because I know we are trying to wrap it up. Bobby mentioned this thing that happens to us quads. I wanted to bring it up because it just every quad that I know gets it. Is like this heavy blood pressure low that we get after we eat. It's this
Yeah.
phenomenon. It's called postprandial hypotension, and it's something that I get like every time I eat like a big meal. Like I'll have to like stop and put my plate down and come back like 20 or 30 minutes later, and it's such a pain in the ass. Like I don't know what it is. It's just a common phenomenon that I know a lot of quads specifically get if we like sit down for dinner. I get it, lunch, whatever it may be. But after eating, a quarter of my meal, I'll get like a really significant blood pressure low. I talked to a doctor about it one time. I did some research, and I guess that is a scientific name for it.
Yeah,
I
Um,
never knew that.
thanks for looking that up, Tom. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
My doctor told me about it, and I just said, "Oh, well, I'm glad it's just not me. It's not in my head," and that
yeah,
they did have a name for it. So thanks for looking that up. And there's not a lot of ways to avoid it except start out eating slow, try to avoid some sugars, and or something big and heavy. So maybe
yeah.
starting off with a yogurt or starting out with some kind of liquid base you know, of your breakfast, meaning maybe some light. What I'll do to avoid it sometimes, I eat one egg, scramble it, and eat one egg, and that kind of helps. And
Yeah.
then eventually, when that settles, eat a little bit of my protein bar or nut bar, and then get into my protein shake, and that usually can help. Or lots of my fruits definitely helps. So having that cantaloupe, I think somebody said cantaloupe, and I'll eat some watermelon and bananas. Usually I don't get that as much as if I went to something a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bobby,
absolutely.
I think you hit that right on the dot, especially with because I just ate right before this, and my blood pressure definitely was dropping. But what I think it is I think it's I'm not breathing enough. Like I'm eating too quick, and I'm not taking enough breaths. So if I slow down and eat, I feel like that might help out.
Okay, so now you
I
need to use the O2 sat to monitor your O2 saturation while you're eating and see if you're getting a significant O2 drop during your meal, Kyle.
so,
I just
so
can't, be scuffing it down. I just need to.
Celtic Bear
And
threw out there about blood flow goes to your stomach for digesting, and that's one of the
Yes.
things that I was told early on is one of the reasons why we get that low, because we do have poor circulation as quads already, and then you if the blood gets directed to one area, all of a sudden it is getting harder to get your blood flow to your head and stuff. And yeah, I never
And
talked to my doctor about it. I just talked to other quads because I met Bobby right away. Our friend Mike DeYoung, he like all the quads around my level had the same things I did, and just were like, yeah, this is normal. So I just assumed it was all normal.
well,
That,
the way that it was explained to me was that like the doctor said it can happen. It happens to everybody. It's just people with normal blood pressure don't generally feel it. Now, our blood pressure generally runs low, and that's exactly what happens. Is like when you eat, blood starts to pool around your abdominal organs, and it pulls blood from like your body, and it can lower your blood pressure 20 or 30 points, which is significant if you're already like 100 over 70, which is kind of like my standard. If I drop to like 70 over 50, like that's low, and that's low enough for me to like feel it. So what were you gonna say, Luis, or
I was going to
Kyle?
say that, I actually studied a year of nutrition in college,
um,
and that was one of the things they talked about was when you digest food, what you eat takes a different length of time to digest. So if you're eating a basic raw salad, you can digest it pretty quick, 30, 40
yeah.
minutes. If you're eating a steak might take you 2 hours, might take longer, and it takes a lot more blood flow to digest that steak than it does the salad.
That's why you get that like really heavy bloated feeling after like a big steak versus like a light salad. It's
Yeah.
because your body
Yeah.
is working to digest
Another
some of that
example
stuff.
of this, it is something that we all just dealt with a couple of weeks ago. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is famous for putting all of us to sleep after Thanksgiving meal or Christmas meal. That's your exact example of food interactions.
Yeah,
Everything
the
that we
gosh darn
eat in
tryptophan.
combination with each other for Thanksgiving creates tryptophans, and tryptophans will put us to sleep. It's a
Yeah,
hormone in the body, and you can duplicate those hormones by what you eat. And so when you fall asleep at the end of the Thanksgiving dinner, it's only, 5 o'clock and you haven't watched the game yet, you sleep right through the game because your Thanksgiving dinner puts you out.
yeah.
That's fine as long as it's a Lions game. It's cool.
Yeah, that's just fine. If it's Lions in Dallas, who cares?
Now,
Nice.
Bobby, trying to get here. And the last thing I kind of want to point out was, it's fueling your body. Going back to this is like, if you can do something in the morning, I find it hard to eat in the morning. Like, I'm just not, I don't have an appetite when I get up. Like, it usually doesn't hit me until later in the day. Now, one of the reasons I found could like be for that is my coffee in the morning. If I put all that like kind of like bitter coffee in my belly, like the acid or whatever level will just like kind of nullify my appetite. Whereas like I notice like if I don't drink coffee, my appetite will hit me earlier in the day. Um, Now, if I don't manage to eat something though, if I don't manage to get like a 5-1 bar or like, some kind of nutrition in me, I will like hit a wall like around like 1 or 2 o'clock. And like
Yep.
I'll be like hypoglycemic, like my blood sugar will be really low. Like I would just like have no energy in my body. And it's a terrible feeling. And it's something that I do not like to bring upon myself, even though I do it sometimes. Without thinking about it or just not taking care of myself properly. But it's something that I just want to point out is that body fuel, especially early in the day. Uh, it prepares yourself for the day. If your body has no fuel to, get your mind going and stuff, you're going to be functioning at, less functional rate than you normally would be. And that's in all your tasks throughout the day, whether they be mental or physical. So it's important in the morning, choke down that yogurt, get those vitamins inside you, get that B12 going and stuff, and, get yourself like nutritionally prepared for the day you're going to take on because you'll find yourself getting a lot more stuff done and feeling so much better about everything you're doing if you do it that way versus if you miss that and you're feeling sluggish and you're in a bad mood and you're having a hard time. That could be why. Nutrition and what we feed our body, I think, plays one of the biggest parts of that a lot of us don't often think about when we're feeling crappy. So make sure you're paying attention to that, especially feeding yourself earlier in the day. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was just going to add to the coffee because I do also have coffee in the morning every day, and I feel like that helps out with bowel program to just get my day started. But I did realize though, and I've been doing this for a while, is we're at our most dehydrated point when we wake up in the morning, unless you're drinking water throughout the whole night. But some of us cath, or some of us have to wake up because of a suprapubic catheter and empty it. So most of us probably not try and drink as much. But when I wake up in the morning, before my cup of coffee, I'll have about 6 ounces of water, because when you have that coffee, it's even going to dehydrate you even more. It's just going to just
Yeah,
empty
it's a
everything out of you. So I feel like that really helps me out, especially with my blood pressure throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, quick question
Well,
here about
you know what?
drinking the coffee. From everybody in the conversation here and in the chat group, who drinks coffee?
Right here, right here.
And I can only have
John?
1 cup. If
I
I
don't
have
really.
more than a cup, it really irritates my bladder. So I'll have some water before, I'll have some water after, because if I don't, it's not going to give me a UTI, but it's going to make me get some sweats and stuff. And I know something's pissed off in my body, and it's probably because of the coffee. So I only
I
have
do.
1 cup.
I do the same thing as Kyle. I'll dehydrate myself too much if I have more than 1 cup. So I do 1 cup in the morning, and that's like my caffeine boosty. And I'll usually put a scoop of Benefiber in there, which is like wheat dextrin fiber. and it's just something to help my bowel health, and my bowel program consistency. It's just something I fiber is important in your diet. I found myself like lacking it, and like just a little scoop of fiber in my coffee when I start my day. I found helps in that regard. Get my daily fiber, and yeah, fiber can be good for you in the right amount. Talk to your
Shawn,
doctor, your nutritionist about that.
Bobby.
I actually don't drink much coffee at all, really, ever. So, yeah.
Hey guys, I got
Can,
to run. Maybe we want to shout out our sponsors real quick.
yeah. Yeah, one more time, real quick. We'll just shout out our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Mobility Professionals. Mobility Professionals and Urology
Urology
Professionals.
pros.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh
Uh
yeah, we'll be at the Abilities Expo.
oh.
Yes, we will.
um, but yeah, sorry. There we go. Mobility Professionals, and there we go. Urology Professionals. Shout out to our sponsors. They are awesome. Super cool companies. Super cool people. They're actually our friends of ours. So yeah, we just want to shout them out again. But
Friends,
I like
members of the community. Yeah, and they're also bringing you the latest and greatest wheelchairs, catheter supplies, and durable medical equipment around. Mobility pros and urology professionals, local and
My next
national.
wheelchair is coming from Mobility Professionals.
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, so is Bobby's, I
Appreciate
think, right now too. So
yeah,
yep,
appreciate
they're
everybody
awesome. We'll shout
supporting.
them out. But yeah, Bobby, I know if you got to get out of here, right, way past your time. You got to
Yeah,
get
I got to
coaching and
run.
stuff.
Take care, everyone. Great seeing you. Thanks a lot.
All
See you,
right,
Good
thanks,
Bobby.
seeing you,
Bobby.
Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
And
All
Yo,
right.
yeah, I don't think we'll try to go on too much longer. Did Luis or Kyle have anything else you guys wanted to add or touch on? It's like the last minute
yeah,
topic.
yeah,
Go ahead,
I
Kyle.
do. Another thing too is not everybody, has access to a gym, and also, like I'm very grateful for the couple days that I'm able to go in there. But I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, without being able to go to any gyms, just doing, arm movements, anything that you can keep up your heart rate, and blood flow. If you're breathing heavy, you're doing something right after the exercise. And then just focus on those kind of things. And when you do arm movements, it may help you give a little, may help you with your reach a little bit better. Yeah, that's all I just wanted to add, because I know it's hard to always get into a gym and the money and to find help. But as long as you're trying to do something, I feel like 5 days a week where you're getting your heart rate up, it's going to be good for you and may
I'm
help you
gonna
shut
just
pounds off in your heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shout out both mine and Bobby's things we do, because I do some videos and training for Zook Fitness, which right now is $10 a month, and we put new videos for paras and quads up every week. And then Bobby is a coach on Staying Driven Fitness, which they do live workouts every day with different trainers. So it's ours are a little bit more just recorded, and you can kind of go at your own pace and do your thing. Those are more live, but lots of options out there. There's other stuff too out there. Plenty of options to stay active and without having to go to a gym and pay a bunch or get a bunch of equipment. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
Betty Boy just
sorry.
pointed out, there's go hit up your local Big Five, get some exercise bands, get some wrist weights, and bam, like there's like a perfect starting point for some at-home exercises. Get yourself doing some jumping jacks, like do your shoulder exercises and stuff. Wear wrist weights around the house while you're doing your regular stuff. To just give yourself a little bit more resistance and promote a little bit of strength development. But I just wanted to touch on what Kyle said. I did go to a gym 2 days a week when I was going to college. I don't have access to that. I do, but not since the pandemic and everything, especially the last 2 years. Like it's just not been easy to get out to a gym. That being said, I went from like 200 pounds to like 145 pounds. And that
yeah,
is
dude.
just taking on a lot more of my care and like being like pushing myself to be a lot more independent. Now that was like because I was trying to just achieve some personal goals in my life to see what I could do in terms of like handling my care and pushing my independence and um, you know, like just for like travel and not having to rely on caregivers and things like that. But let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I mean, if you, I mean, like if I do my care, took care, like did my bowel care myself, handled all of my care in that regard. I mean, I'm talking like probably realistically like three to 4 hours of like moving my body, transferring, turning, lots and lots of back and forth, lots of up on
It's a
my elbows,
workout.
constant shoulder movements and
It's
stuff. I mean, it is a freaking workout. Like it is no joke. If you are transferring yourself in and out of your bed several times a day, if you are cooking for yourself, doing the meal prep, grabbing the pots and pans, getting the stuff out of the fridge, cutting everything, doing it all, feeding yourself, cleaning up after yourself afterwards and stuff, and then, dressing yourself, undressing at the end of the day, doing, pushing yourself to do all those things. And I mean, it used to take me an hour to transfer myself one way to from my chair to my bed. Now I can hop from my chair to my bed, back to my chair in like 3 minutes if I'm like, no problem. That's because
Mm-hmm.
I've done enough times to, promote to grow the muscles and gain the strength in the areas that I needed to do that kind of stuff. And Kyle said it, like it lends itself to every other aspect of my life. When it comes to the cooking, when it comes to handling other aspects of my care, when it comes to, just like personal things that I want to do that like require, like more physical ability. Um, they all lend to themselves. Um, you're gonna find yourself, if you are able to improve your strength, whether it be at a gym or at home, you're going to find your care, being done easier. You're going to find yourself doing more for yourself because it's easier to do so. Now, this took me years. And I mean, realistically, to lose that weight and to go through the transition that I did, it was like probably 4 or 5 years of, like consciously like making some life decisions to just do more for myself, to push my independence and to also eat better and eat, more stay on a better diet, for myself. And, 4 or 5 years of that. I only really saw like the weight loss like the last 2 or 3 years, like significantly. And I found like I've been at my current weight for probably a year. I like fluctuate, right around 145, 155 between there. Um, and it's just kind of comfy. Like I'm good. I have good energy. Now I would like to build some of my strength. That's something I kind of want to work on for 2022. And that, means changing my diet, like maybe adding some, more exercise routine throughout my day. That's not so much like independence or care based, but actual like focusing on certain muscles. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to point out, baby steps, realistic goals. It's something that's achievable. As someone who is heavier and chunkier all my life, I never thought I'd be like, consistently at this weight and be able to maintain it. Just because, like, I've always found myself putting on weight really easy, but making small changes over time, I was able to, make myself a lot healthier. And I'll tell you what, like, I do feel a lot better, and I can move myself so much easier and do things that were a struggle years ago. And it's 24 years post injury. It's not like I so it's like one of the things I found is people, especially getting into the fitness thing. Some people would just like that'll be their excuse. Like it's too late. It's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late to find your, to push yourself, to, find independence, to achieve, levels of independence you maybe never thought possible before. Because I started when I was 16 years post injury, trying to transfer and do, a lot of the stuff that I, is required to like live independently and do the things that I do now. And it has not been an easy road. It's just been a lot of work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears along the way. But let me tell you, it's very achievable. It's super possible, way more achievable than a lot of people realize. So it's never, never, ever too late to, start to make some positive, proactive changes. If that's your want and your goal to do so in life. And if you need some motivation, tips, and tricks, we're all here to help support you too. A lot of times finding a good starting point can be really difficult. So if you're finding yourself struggling, hit one of us up. Hit up Kyle, hit up Shawn, hit up Bobby, hit up Luis, or me or myself. If we can't help you, we can definitely point you in the direction of someone who can. And it's
Yeah.
really just a matter of pushing yourself.
And yeah, check out Kyle on Instagram. You can follow some of his workouts he's doing. He's in the gym all the time. So, and
Yeah,
then
hit,
yeah,
hit me up too. I get back to everybody over social media. It's so nice. We have friends all over the place. We don't even have to see each other, right away. We can just, chat about whatever. I'm
Absolutely.
available.
yeah, dude, for
And that
sure.
goes for all of us,
So,
I think.
yeah,
Me too. I
definitely.
always try to respond in a timely manner. Sometimes I do stay off the social media, but usually within a day or two, I'll pop in and make sure, I'm not missing out on anything. And that's not just specific to this stuff too. Anything in regards to living life or living the crip life, always feel free to reach out about whatever.
Yeah,
Mm.
most definitely. All right, guys. I think unless you guys have anything else, we'll kind of wrap it up. We went a little bit over here, so we can go
Yeah,
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
you guys have a lot
I
of shit.
totally agreed with what Tom had to say there at the end. I mean, all the workouts and all the cardio stuff that I do has only benefited myself for independence or getting stronger or being able to last through a whole day. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's a
Tom
big
was
part of
saying,
it. Just
Yeah.
yeah,
doing our bathroom needs and cooking food, that was a workout right there. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
An
And
important thing to remember is that activity, exercise is medicine. And it's not just
yeah,
medicine for your body, it's also medicine for your head. And when we're
and
healthy, we feel better up in our head as well.
you said it. That can be such a huge factor in your mental health. Is like maintaining good physical health, and making sure that chemical balance in your body. I mean, we just really don't think about it, but like the reason you get crabby when you're hungry is because your body is struggling and it's having a really hard time, performing its regular metabolic function. So it's messing with the chemicals in your brain and making you feel like crap. Um, and
Yeah.
that's why you're grabbing, stuff, right? So it all makes sense. So eating a good diet like really lends to lots of other beneficial aspects of your daily life. Particularly energy, and I mean it's something that I find myself struggling with all the time. Is I'm running out of spoons at the end of the day. Like I don't have enough energy. Um, but diet and exercise is a big part of that. Making space for that will help you increase the amount of energy you have access to, the rest of your life. So it's important to try to make time.
yeah, definitely. And
Um,
Steve mentioned active quad. Friend Steve mentioned it's hard to get out as a quad in the cold right now, and agreed. It sucks to get out in the cold right now. So
hey,
just try to
exercise
do
is a
your
great way to
best.
warm yourself up, though.
It does
Hey,
warm up for sure. Like I warm up really quickly when I do work out, but that initial push is hard. I agree. You just do what you can to warm up in your house, and then kind of I
this
don't know,
is
get out.
no joke. Something
I
that I
don't think
do.
I don't think any of us from California can really bitch about that though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
Steve's here
today
in
it was
California too.
chilly. It was like 50
Yeah.
degrees
Well,
outside, and let me tell you, it's
Well,
freaking cold. All right,
when
it's
I've
cold
been
enough for
waking
my
up,
quad mod
I
to be
got
struggling a little bit. And
I
dude,
got
like
like
Oh, my classes were going crazy.
I'll literally like throw some jumping jacks and stuff before I leave, dude. Like I'll do like, quick like 50 jumping jacks. Like, but if I'm feeling really cold, especially if I'm shivering and I'm having a hard time, like I will like force myself to do some physical activity to get my blood flowing before I leave the house. Like no joke, it's something that I've
Just
done for a long time.
in my bed.
Dude, straight up, straight up.
Well,
So
Just start moving your body, get that exercise going. If you feel you're, really struggling with the cold. Um,
yeah,
Luis is
movement
about to
helps a
tell us a
lot.
scary story right now.
Well, I
I
was
know.
just going to say that Shawn and I live in the same area. We're Southern California as well, but the last 4 nights in a row, we've had freeze warnings.
Yeah. So it's been
It's been
yeah, all the
cold out
cars
here.
and roofs are all actually frozen. Like I have a thermometer I can see that has the outside temperature. It has like the studio temperature in my room. So I can just know what I'm getting into. And it's been 38, 39 degrees these last few mornings every time I wake up. I'm like, damn, that is.
But Kyle's right. Us Californians can't talk no smack to everybody in the chat coming from the Midwest or
Yeah, I know.
like the
Nicole
East
says
Coast, like
it's
where they,
31 in North Carolina now.
really, really like feel some heavy cooler temperatures.
yeah,
I
like
feel for all you guys.
I waited till 12 o'clock today until it hit 60, and then I was like, okay, I can do this. You know.
Nice.
So I did
Yeah,
have to wait. 50 was too cold, but I knew once that first mile was in, I'm golden.
Yep,
I
Yeah.
did the
yep.
same thing today, Kyle. When I got up this morning, it was 36 degrees here, and I went outside and I went, nope, I'm going back in, and I didn't come back outside until it was like 50, and then I
Yeah,
went
that's
out.
when I go in the garage, turn on the heater, and get in the standing frame, and then just watch some TV until it warms up.
Nice.
Yeah, find that radiant heat source for sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's pretty funny though. Um, any last? I always ask this question. Um, and Kyle, you're such an inspiration when it comes to like setting the standard for like good rehab and recovery. A good way to
Appreciate
take it.
that.
Yeah, no, Bill, you deserve it, man. Do you have any advice for anybody out there who is maybe going through rehab or recovery, or maybe has an aspiration to get into some physical fitness themselves? Is such a shining example of that. Any advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just never give up. Just always push yourself to where you can. Make yourself goals. Then they don't have to be huge, crazy goals. Any goal to us is going to be massive, for us as individuals. But just never give up. Move whatever you can move. You can build. So just try and keep that heart rate up, and yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I just popped in my head that I wanted to say is having good physical activity, meaning, good circulation throughout your body and stuff, can be one of the healthiest things for good skin health too. I just wanted to
Yeah.
point that out. Like, as far as like healing from minor skin wounds and stuff, it can make an incredible difference. Like circulation is key. That's what helps like a wound heal is like good circulation. And the only way you can really promote good circulation in your body is getting up and moving regularly. So, when it comes to maintaining good skin health, and it becomes a real thing for almost everyone suffering from SCI at some point in their life. So, one thing, just because I recently had a good little skin scare on my bottom, and it resolved itself super, super quick. And I'm gonna pat myself on the back and just attribute it to like being nutritionally sound and having like good physical activity that allowed my body to heal quickly. When it was kind of in a scary spot, it could have turned into something real serious if I had a harder time healing. So just wanted to shout out how nutrients and good physical activity can benefit skin health as well. It benefits everything, you guys. Just go out there and get healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Tom, your skin, it's that probiotics, the acidophilus. We didn't get into this earlier, won't take long now, but just because you already take it, it really helps.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
That's
Shawn,
cool.
is there anything else?
No, I don't know. I think we covered a lot. I'm trying to think if there's anything not, but that's fine. We're cool.
Yeah, we went
So what?
40 minutes over our usual time, so I think
So
we
what's on the agenda for next time?
I'm still working on it. I have a couple of my show ideas. I just have to see which guests are going to line up next week. So, well,
and we are Sean and I are going to talk about it after today's show. Try to get it on the schedule. Maybe if not next week, the week after. We're going to do a little cooking show too. That's going to go kind of in tandem with the diet and nutrition. Just so how quad cooks, some cooking tips. We're gonna trying to get a good guest. We're also maybe gonna see if I can do a little live cooking demonstration while we're doing the show. If I can rig up a little camera thingy. But me and Sean got to do some trial runs of that stuff. But I just want to shout out everybody in the chat. All the love you guys give goes right back to you guys. Really, really appreciate you participating in the chat. It helps out, it helps the algorithm promote the video, helps more people see it. Helps disseminate more meaningful information when you guys chime in and share your experiences and stuff. So we really, really appreciate you guys sharing all you do in regards to our topics and all the other little stuff. Really, really appreciate you guys. This is why we do it. Is for you.
that's
So
right.
appreciate you guys being here, checking it out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah.
Heck
Yeah, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen, for having me on this. This was a lot of fun, and I'd love to be back.
For sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah, thanks,
Kyle.
Kyle.
Appreciate
We'll
you, man.
definitely.
Yo, we gotta get a video of Kyle using all those quad tools back there. I need to see Kyle scissor hands back here, just like two knives going.
Just make sure everybody's clear away.
Yeah. We'll make sure we film from a distance.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely get some of that stuff going. But yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining us, Kyle. Luis, thank you
Thank
again
you.
for coming on.
Anytime.
And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you all the guests, the chat, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Truly wouldn't do it without you. So
And thank you, Sean. You're the man too, bro. Appreciate
oh
it.
yeah, for sure, guys.
Thank you,
We'll
Shawn.
see you guys next week. And Brianna's back on Thursday. Check it out, guys.
Live to